Vielen Dank. Det er mine tjener her i Tyskland. Dem har jeg mange af, og sådan er det. Når man er i Tyskland, så har man masser af tjener. Og nu skal vi til noget spændende. Et af de mest populære spil på E3, eller dem, der blev talt mest om, det var Star Wars Old Republic. Og herovre sidder Daniel, som har været med til at lave det. And first of all, there have been a lot of Star Wars games. What makes this different?
The big difference now is that there's really only been one series of Star Wars role-playing games, which is the Knights of the Old Republic games. There's only been one series of games where you could really decide yourself how you wanted to play, what decisions you wanted to make, what it would be like if you were living in Star Wars. Now we've taken that and we've taken it to the Old Republic. We've taken it to a huge expansion size. Doing an MMO means we have 8 classes, each of which have their own story. This is the first time you're ever going to get to play a smuggler RPG, a trooper RPG, a totally different experience, a Sith RPG, right? This is something that nobody's gotten to play before.
But can you play all the famous characters from the Star Wars universe?
No, the game actually takes place thousands of years before the movies do. So you play your own character. So you actually get to be, instead of saying, hey, I'm going to be Han Solo and I have to do everything Han Solo did and achieve everything he did, you get to make your own decisions and say, okay, I'll be a smuggler, but maybe I'm not such a good guy, right? Han Solo kind of sold out and went with the good guys and kind of became goody two-shoes. No, I'm going to stick to my guns. I want the money, I want the women, I want the fame. So that's the decisions maybe I'm going to make.
Yeah, so there's a lot of focus on the role-playing and the multiplayer function, but it's actually also a single-player game.
Absolutely. If you want to play the game single player, if you want to play it like a classic role-playing game, start at the beginning, play all the way through, you can play our entire game solo. If you're a group player and you like to play multiplayer stuff, there's tons of that for you, and all the stuff you'd want as an MMO is there. There's the raids and the PvP and the guilds and all of that. But we really want both role players, like traditional role-playing game players, and MMO players to feel welcome there.
As our powers of the dark side have blinded you,
Have you thought about doing any PvP in the game?
Oh, absolutely. We've definitely always known that PvP was going to have to be there. It is Star Wars, not Star let's sit down and have a tea party. It is actually one of the best places for PvP because the entire game is about the war between the Republic and the Sith Empire.
There's a lot of expectations to this game. Can you live up to them?
We hope so. I mean, everything we come out with as much humility as we can. And, this is the first time for us trying to walk into this, but we've got a lot of experience doing this. There would never be a Tor if there wasn't a Mass Effect, if there wasn't a Baldur's Gate, if there wasn't a Knights of the Old Republic original. We've come a long ways into learning, okay, now we know how to do each of these different parts. Let's see if we can do it all together, and let's see if we can do it all on a huge scale. And it's a big challenge.
And what have been the biggest challenge, like doing the Star Wars universe?
Well, the biggest challenge really is not the Star Wars universe itself, which we did Knights of the Old Republic, we sort of created the Old Republic's mythos and all of that stuff. It's doing it in the multiplayer universe. All of a sudden there's so many different restrictions that you think, okay, we could do this. Oh wait, no, there's 5 other people standing there and those 3 guys have no pants and they're dancing on top of my Sith Lord. What does that look like now? So you sort of have to think of all the possibilities of the living space and how to make all these different groups of players happy and what they're all going to want from Star Wars.
I have to follow up on this question. Those 3 naked guys, where do you got that from?
Well, they're probably guys that decided to come on that day and said, you know what we're going to do? We're going to hang out mostly naked in front of wherever the most people are, and we're going to dance all day and yell things at each other.
So it's not inspiration from the real world in your office, maybe?
No, our office is not nearly that calm.
What do you think that the gamers will go crazy about?
Well, as a writer, my favorite thing is the fact that we've been able to do individual stories for the first time. A role-playing game has always been classically almost a generic story because we don't know who you are. If you're playing Baldur's Gate or one of the classic RPGs, you might have decided to be a warrior, you might be a druid, you might be a wizard, you've all got the same story. So we had to do a sort of a classic, hero's journey story. But now, because we gave different content to every class, when you play a smuggler, it is nothing like any role-playing game you've played. You have super funny lines, you have tons of romances, you're always getting into trouble, nothing works out the way you want, you're running around the galaxy, living by the seat of your pants, just getting in crazy adventures because you're actually playing a smuggler RPG.
Do you think that the gamers from, for instance, World of Warcraft, like, go and play this game instead of the other game?
What we're hoping is that we get people from all of the different walks of life. One of the things that great MMOs and great games from Half-Life to WoW to everything have shown is that a great new game in the market that does something different doesn't steal, it expands the market. The market for MMOs is much bigger than anyone ever would have thought it was 6 years ago. So what we're hoping is that all those people who love classic Bioware games and love the RPG, and maybe they end up playing solo, maybe they learn to play group play, they all show up. And then a lot of the people who play the MMOs, they show up. And then hopefully a whole group of people we don't know about who have never really played MMOs because they didn't really understand it, and maybe not even role-playing games, finds a place with all the production values and the full VO and says, wow, this is actually kind of like my favorite TV show or something. I now have a new story that I'm seeing unfolding and a whole new entertainment experience.
Will the price be for playing this game?
But we haven't talked about any pricing structures at all yet. And that probably won't ever come from the lead writer.
Would it be like $1,000 in a month or less?
I'm guessing if it is a monthly fee that it will be under 1,000 euros. I can't talk about American dollars.
And when can we start playing this game?
I can start playing it now. As far as when you can start playing it, can't talk about it yet.
Could we go home together? Not like, but like...
Really, the one has to happen before the other one does.
Okay, vi ses. Jeg bliver nødt til at gøre det her, for jeg skal spille et spil. Sluk kameraet.
You assumed no force could challenge you.